Welcome back.
Hello.
This is podcast number 2. We're doing good. We are very happy with the way Raw and Receding podcast 1 turned out. So yeah, if you like these podcasts, if you would like the podcast, so we kind of know that you do like it, and we understand that not everyone is going to like what we're saying. I mean, of course, this is just our personal experiences, but yeah, I mean, if you like the podcast, and this is something that you can listen to while you're driving or sitting at home, and we feel like, you know, we're talking about personal experiences, so we think you will relate. But my name is Marshall. I myself have gone through some insecurities, and last podcast we talked about those insecurities, and we have Rachel here.
Hello again.
Yeah, and Rachel is raw and bold and to the point and not afraid to say, what the heck, bro, what are you talking about? And that's kind of where we came up with the name Raw and Receding, because Rachel is raw.
That sounds dirty.
when it comes to not, you know, she's not going to hold back when she talks about things, and I'm receding. So that's kind of where we came with
a lot less than you used to be.
Exactly.
A lot less. Yes.
Exactly. So I'm excited. I'm ready to come out punching and
Good, okay.
Yeah, I'm ready to do this and talk about new things today. So
I know I have no idea. I mean, I have kind of an idea, but I'm kind of coming in not knowing what's going to happen, what we're going to be talking about.
Good.
So it's going to be a surprise.
I like to keep you surprised.
Yeah.
I like to keep you on your toes, and yeah, I'm fired up today.
Okay, you must have had your coffee this morning.
I did. Actually, you know what? I feel so fired up. I'm gonna do some push-ups right now. What do you think about that?
I think that's really weird, but okay. Are you?
All right, here I go.
Are you gonna actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things I want to talk about today is living your best life, your best version. Well, I want to focus on that as I was reading something, and it hit close to, I mean, it was like right in your face about some statistics.
Okay.
So those statistics are that generally we have about 4,000 weeks in our lifetime. 4,000 weeks.
Doesn't seem like that much.
Right? That's about 76 years that you have, approximately, give or take. And we all don't live the same amount of time, unfortunately, but it's about 76 years. Easy factor is that's 28,000 days total.
Also, it doesn't actually seem like that much for a lifetime.
And each one of those days you have 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the nice thing is we all have the same amount of time per day.
Mm-hmm.
We all have 24 hours. So it's how you live those 24 hours.
Sure.
How you take advantage of those 24 hours. You know, a lot of us think we have all this time in the world, and we don't. I mean, there's plenty of graveyards out there. There was thousands of people in these graveyards that thought the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's one of those things where you have to live your life the fullest every single day.
It's an important reminder.
Yeah.
I feel like something I've been thinking about a lot recently.
Living
too.
your best
What
life.
Is it? Are we doing like therapy session now?
I mean, kinda.
Because I'm here for it. Yeah.
I mean, we're not life coaches or anything, but I mean, it really kind of made me think about it. And, you know, I know you're into the health aspect of it. You work out every single day. You get up, you work out, you watch what you eat. I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked my way up where I do 800 push-ups a day.
Yeah, you've told me about that, which I've started that journey too. I think I'm up to 50. So we're getting there.
Yeah,
but
I watch what I eat.
Yeah.
I try to live that best life. So, you know, a lot of people think, you know, they say, well, today's not the perfect time to do something.
There never is a perfect time.
Exactly. There's never a perfect time. So, and one of the things about that is hair transplants.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hair transplants was one of the best things I ever did, because I was always self-conscious about my hair loss and losing my hair. And, you know, people are always saying, well, you know what, it's not a necessity. It's something I don't need right now. Well, you know, tomorrow's not promised. So,
True.
You know, hair is a big deal. Your health is a big deal. And how you look and present yourself is a big deal.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I mean, it's something I think can be said across the board of you always feel like you need to wait to find the perfect time to do anything, whether that be a procedure, whether that be have a conversation, whether that be change, like make a major life decision, XYZ. But there really isn't a perfect time. And what is it? I mean, it's the age old saying of like, if you wait for the perfect time, you're going to be waiting forever. Like you're never going to do it.
that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
And no, I mean, I think, yeah, with hair transplants in particular, I mean, we see it time and time again where we meet with people, they talk about they've had this, they're losing hair, they're insecure about it, they want to do something about it, but then they are like, well, maybe in a few months when schedule has settled down, or when I have my money in better organization, or
Yeah.
or life has calmed down. And I mean, I think
And when does life ever calm down?
no,
Like you said,
never.
there's never a perfect time for this.
No. I mean, of course, like there are a few factors you have to consider to make sure, like, like that you won't have to be doing a ton of exercise the next day. Like, you wouldn't want to be doing 800 push-ups the next day, right?
Nah, we're still going to be doing 800 push-ups the next day.
Okay, well then never mind. So then then you can always get one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's true is a lot of people I think put it off.
Yeah.
And then something I've heard you say to many people is a lot of people put it off, and then when they finally get it done, they say,
yeah, they're glad we pushed them into
why
it.
didn't I do this sooner?
I wish I wouldn't have waited so long.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, to enjoy it. And that's, the thing about hair transplants is it's permanent. You'll have it for the rest of your life. It's one of the only investments that you will
forever
make that you will die with.
Yeah.
You will have this hair forever.
Yeah, because even other cosmetic procedures that you get done still require like touch-ups or kind of removals. And like I'm thinking about, I don't know, breast augmentation, things like that. I think people have to go back, have them redone every like 15 years or so.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I thought today they were pretty much permanent.
Not implants. Like you're supposed to get them replaced and removed, and then I don't know, even like facelifts and stuff. I don't know. I actually don't know how permanent those are, but yeah, I mean it's hair you'll have forever. So the sooner you do it, the longer you'll have it.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, kind of going on a different road here, is if you're going to go purchase a car, look for a car, like how would you go about doing that? Like, are you going to go try to find like the cheapest version of that car that you can find? Or are you going to try to see the most options that you can get, that you can afford with that car?
I mean, the most options. Yeah, look around.
And what about like shopping for clothes or something? Do you go to like Dollar General to go look for your clothes, or do you go to
Yes.
Okay.
No, I don't. No, I mean, you look around. I mean, now I myself am not like getting the most high end stuff, but nice.
Right.
Testing out different things, and you want to spend a little bit of money on it, make sure it lasts.
So where I'm going with this is cosmetic surgery and a discounted rate.
Mm-hmm.
This is a permanent procedure that you'll have for the rest of your life, yet you want a bargain shop for it. It's just, it blows my mind that someone would look for the cheapest place to get a cosmetic procedure that's permanent. The most important aspect of life is your own self, your own body, but you're going to try to find a discounted rate.
The absolute cheapest, yeah.
It's crazy. People are going abroad to these countries and getting it for half price or even below that just to save $1.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear these horror stories.
A lot of things can go wrong.
Yeah. For example, I mean, there was a gentleman, and I actually printed some of this stuff out. There's an engineer that died from serious complications during a hair transplant procedure that was run by a dentist in Turkey. I mean, he passed away from it. And there was another one recently that just he passed away, and it said something about during the pre-surgery or something like that, and they're investigating what happened. But they're grabbing whoever they can to do these procedures.
Yeah.
There's even something about here. There's a sentence that says there's actually taxi drivers that moonlight at some of these facilities to help with the procedures.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, given
there's not a lot of medical regulations over there. Yet people are going over there and getting cosmetic procedures just to save $1. So it just blows my
Hmm.
mind.
And I mean, why do you think that is? I'm just curious, like from your.
I think what people don't understand that these procedures, there's a cosmetic, there's an artistic ability to these procedures.
Hmm.
For example, hair transplants, placing the follicle in the right angle, in the right placement, in relations to your existing hair, so it looks natural. They think it's just putting the hair straight up and down, and it's not like that.
No, it's not.
And the other thing is these hairlines. When we do hair transplants, it is a permanent procedure where it's not going to naturally age and change as a hairline should naturally
Hmm.
age and change. I mean, one day you're going to be 40, 50, 60 years old, and they're going over there and getting like an 18-year-old hairline.
It's true. I mean, in my just training over the years, learning about hairlines, especially male hairlines, kind of designing, reconstructing them. Yeah, even people that don't have genetic hair loss, where they have a very, very, very receded hairline. Hairlines do naturally age or recede about an inch or more just
Sure.
as we age. So yeah, you're exactly correct that, and I mean I see it on Instagram all over the
Well, you
place.
sent me one
People,
the other day, and the guy,
yeah,
it looked
it
like they took a
literally was like a perfect box.
it looked like they took a bowl and put it on his
Yeah,
head and
and
drew a
it
line across.
looks.
He's going to look weird. And the human eye is so smart. We know what looks natural and doesn't look natural. It's kind of like if you walk through the mall and you can spot people that have gone too far with facial plastic
You may
surgery.
not be able to like pinpoint exactly what it is, but you're just like that something is
Yeah,
off
it looks
with
weird.
yeah. Hmm.
And honestly, that individual would look more natural, aging naturally, than getting what they had done. And they're walking around 40 and 50 years old trying to look like they're 20, and it looks weird.
I
It
agree.
looks it
I
looks
agree.
so odd.
I agree.
It just doesn't make sense to me. If you know someone that's like in their 50s and they got a full head of hair, just like you were talking about, and you see pictures of them when they're like in their 20s, the hairline looks
It's
different.
slightly different, yeah.
I mean, just because of the whole aging process. And so, I mean, the hardest client to make happy with hair transplants is someone that's like in their 20s, because
It's
their
true.
because their goal is to go back to like when they were like 18 years
Which was
old.
only a few years ago.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah.
you can't. You actually have to build the hairline so it works with them not only when they're 40 and 50 and 60, because they're going to have it for the rest of their life, and they have a hard time comprehending that. I myself started getting hair transplants when I was in my 20s, and I struggled with the same thing. I mean, I was like, "Oh, my hairline's too high. That's not what I want." And you have to have an age appropriate hairline, so more of a mature aging hairline, so it does look natural as we get older.
Yeah.
So
Which is okay, this is kind of a tangent. I don't, know if this is exactly where you were going, but I actually think that's another whole other important topic to discuss is expectations that people have coming into transplants, and especially what they see online, especially what is promoted at a lot of places, like what turkey clinics. Let's just put it out there. Like I mean, Turkey is the has become known as the
cosmetic capital of the
yeah, as the
world.
international hub of cosmetic procedures in general. And I think there's a lot of good, but there's also a lot of bad. And I think I think it can be easy to forget that social media is not reality. And even the best looking procedures that are shown, or like the craziest looking procedures that are shown, it's still very likely manipulated with lighting or with angles
Oh, sure.
or with whatever. And so people, I think they see these extreme cosmetic surgeries that have been done in rare cases, and I just expect that that's what all procedures will end up looking like, and that's just not at all the case, nor is that the best outcome for most people
No,
either.
no.
So, I mean, I think a lot of places, especially places like Turkey, that a lot of just their what
Yeah, their
their
marketing is so
it's everywhere. I
it's
mean,
not
no,
realistic.
well, no, it's not realistic, but it's everywhere. And I mean, like their economy relies on people traveling in to get
But
procedures
they also
done.
know that that individual is not going to come back and be
That's
like,
correct.
hey, well, this is not this is not what you advertised, and I want you to
True.
fix it.
Are
Know
they're not going to fly back to
exactly.
get something fixed or done.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the before and after pictures that they're showing is very unrealistic.
Yeah.
The best we can do with a hair transplant is getting you back to the point where you first started noticing that you were thinning, because we're not actually giving you more hair. We're just moving around what you already have. So this whole process is an illusion, but we can create a phenomenal illusion that looks like you have a nice looking head of hair.
Yes.
You're not going to look like you did when you were 18.
No.
But a lot of these guys go over there and they're getting these 18-year-old hairlines, and it looks weird. It looks so odd.
Yeah, or they're being told you can have basically whatever you want, and that's just it's just not reality. So I think one important thing to get out there is you do not have to go to Turkey to get a hair transplant. You can stay in the US, you can stay in Atlanta. You can come on over to our place. And that's where I think it is important to find a clinic that is honest and realistic about what can be done. Because I'll tell you right now, if you have lost the majority of your hair on the top of the head, and any clinic is telling you in one procedure you're going to end up with a full head of hair, it's a lie. I mean, that's just not, it's just impossible.
Yeah. And
I would run from a clinic that.
Yeah. And they're quoting people crazy numbers, like 5,000, 6,000 grafts. That's just not happening.
No.
You only have so much hair in your head. And then you get into a point of over harvesting. And I'm going to show you something.
I see you have some stuff over there.
Yeah. So I want to show you something.
Okay.
Take a look at that. So he actually went, and honestly, the hair transplant procedure on top looks phenomenal.
Okay. It does not look phenomenal right here.
No. Well, on the sides, they took too much hair, so now he's like in a weird situation where
it looks like it
looks like he's losing his hair.
You
on
might
the side.
think, and I mean, I feel like it's an important distinction. My goodness, where. Not trying to be judgmental or rude or anything, but I think it's kind of normal or expected when people see that you're losing hair here. If you see that somebody's losing hair in this area, I kind of wonder, does he have a medical condition?
Exactly.
Is he going through something? Like
that does not look like a normal.
No, because it's not a normal balding pattern.
And he would have looked more natural, balding naturally, than getting this procedure done and ending up like this, the way he looked up.
And I mean, here's the other question. I mean, what do you do? What can he do?
You can't. So the best thing about hair transplants is permanent. The worst thing about hair transplants,
it's permanent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's no way of fixing that. And the other thing is that every area or country has their own different bacteria and organisms, and you just don't know what you're going to get over there. If it's not sterile, what will you get? So this gentleman went over there, and yeah, I mean, it's scary.
What is that?
I don't know. He's got some kind of a skin.
I mean, that's the thing, because I mean, it's true. One, just the human body, where you live is the bacteria you're used to. So like even if it was considered sterile, whatever, simply traveling to another country can be a lot on the immune system if you want to make that thing. But it's also true that there's different regulations, there's different all kinds of stuff. And that's really scary. I mean, that's really scary. I mean,
the United States has the best technology of anything. I mean, we've got the best military, we've got the best technologies, and the medical field. There's nowhere else in the world that you're going to get, the expertise than in the U.S. U.S. has the best procedures and the best technology and the best regulations. I mean, they're very strict on,
on a lot of stuff,
on regulating. So it's very safe here. And that's why I think also you're getting a cheaper price, because there's not as much regulation.
There's not or anything.
So look at the scarring on this guy.
Oh my gosh, I see it from here.
Yeah. And that's something that once you create scar tissue like that,
I mean,
it can't be fixed.
That is another dangerous thing, kind of regardless of the hair, is scar tissue that forms. Because once scar tissue has formed, there's really nothing you can do. And I mean, this is unlike any other procedure. I mean, this is on your head. I
Oh,
mean,
I
that's
know.
what people see.
I
You
mean,
can't.
that's something you'll have to wear a hat for the rest of your life or something. That cannot be repaired. And if it can, I don't know how to repair something like that. But yeah, that's
Well,
just
yeah. I mean, even if they wanted to go in and like, let's say remove it, there's no guarantee it won't come back or heal like that. Or
yeah.
that is very, very unfortunate.
And then I've got one more. So this individual went there and um, got eyebrows, and you know, eyebrows are a tricky thing
I was gonna
because
say, do we want to have an honest discussion about eyebrow transplants?
eyebrows, it's hard to actually for those to
It's
put the hairs in a
hard.
right
Yeah.
angle so it lays naturally. So, and it's a very artistic ability of doing that. So, this individual went and got eyebrows, and they just stick straight up and down. There was no angulation of placing the follicle. I mean, it doesn't look like eyebrows.
No.
Yeah, it
It
looks odd.
looks it just looks like something is off.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's unfortunate because it's on that individual's face, and it'll be there forever.
I mean, I think at that point, if we're being just very blunt,
Just
like
shave it off.
shaving them off, yeah.
Yeah, just shave it
Yeah.
off.
That's really unfortunate. Now, what I think you said a client had asked you this, that, okay, let's say you do get a botched hair transplant and the hair is either not growing, it's growing in the wrong direction or it's not growing well, whatever. I mean, I know the answer, but for for people, can you get a hair transplant removed and then redone?
So the risk is creating scar tissue,
Mm-hmm.
and when you create scar tissue, then you're dealing with a whole different aspect of you don't ever know how that scar tissue is going to heal or impact the image, especially if
Overall,
it's
yeah.
on the head or on the face.
True.
So it's too risky. It's like playing Russian roulette on let's try it and see what happens.
Yeah, there's no way to really know how
Mm-mm.
somebody is gonna respond to
Mm-mm.
it.
Yeah. So
So,
once those follicles are
yeah,
there, they're there.
yeah. The good thing is, let's say, God forbid, something does not go according to plan, or somebody isn't 100% satisfied with what was done. When you go to a clinic that is close by, one, you are getting proper follow-up care. I mean, you're getting check-ins, you're getting evaluations throughout that entire year as the hair grows in. So that way things, if something happens, can be caught early on. And then, also they're there. So like they can fix it.
Yeah, follow up is key
To an extent. Yeah.
yeah, with these procedures. I mean, it really is. And that was another article that I had. Um, this article was about how they went to Turkey, and after surgery, they were discharged with instructions, no medication, no way to contact the medical staff,
Mm-hmm.
and they developed a severe infection at one of the incisions. And they reached out to the clinic and they ignored the messages.
Mm-hmm.
And they could tell that they were reading the messages, but they wouldn't reach out to her anymore. And she came back to the U.S. and had to have emergency surgery.
I mean, I
So,
think, yeah, that also, like, when done properly, I feel like the risk of infection, especially with an FUE, is very, 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 very low. That being said, if you get a procedure done and then you're doing like a lot of international traveling and XYZ, and also, I mean, who knows how it was actually done? Like, maybe the incisions were larger than they should have been, or XYZ. I mean, it just, yeah, you're putting yourself at a much higher risk of something going wrong.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, you're right. I think at the end of the day, it's a permanent thing. It's a lifetime. I think I've heard you say this, where it's like people spend a lot more on cars, and cars you replace at least a few times throughout your life.
Yeah, at least, I mean, people don't keep a car, but at the most, maybe 5 or 6 years or so. So
I think longer than that, but still not your whole life. Yeah.
it really, I mean, it really needs to be brought to light how, people are really willing to take the risk of their own life and their own health to go get a cheaper price.
I think it's also because it's easy to be like, well, that'll never happen to me. Like that, it's, they know the risk, but Because I was shocked. I know this another tangent, but I was shocked where we had a client come in and they actually got a hair transplant done with us. But they were talking about how they had gone internationally. I forget where. It might have been Turkey for a mommy makeover where they literally they showed me the text messages where they were getting like BOGO deals where it's like get your breast done, get a tummy tuck, and get another procedure all done at one day at one time. And the more you did, the cheaper the procedure. And it's like, that is the exact opposite of what should be done. And that is where, I mean, it just gets dangerous when you start literally going for the cheapest
It's
price
crazy.
and that's, I mean, another larger conversation is, I know people tend to want to have everything done at once. They, you tend to think the more that is done at one time, the
Yeah,
better
because you want your recovery all done at one
at
time.
one time. But that's also not,
It's a lot of trauma to the body.
it's a lot of trauma to the body. And a lot of times it is better to do not as much at one go for many reasons. But that's another thing that, yeah, I mean, I think, as you said, people are being quoted in Turkey like 6,000, 7,000 grafts at one time. That is insane, because that's how you end up with the over harvesting, because a lot of people don't even have that to begin with to give. Secondly, like, how much of those are actually gonna,
only 50%
like,
of
when
them
you're
would
when you're
grow.
placing that many at one time.
Well, there's only so much blood supply in
Right.
the area to support those, and it's like planting a garden. You start overcrowding that garden, only 50% of the plants are going to grow anyway.
Mm-hmm. And then afterward, you don't have anything left to fix it. Like, you've already
you've exhausted all
you've
your
exhausted
resources.
everything, so you're kind of stuck with what you get now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I think it's something that I know in the consultations I have myself, I mean, I feel like this is a conversation every day now, is everybody's like, well, I've been talking to Turkey. I've gotten quotes.
I know the other nice thing about it is they advertise it as a 5-star vacation.
Yeah.
So they show the beautiful hotels,
Mm-hmm.
they show the beautiful meals that you're going to get, and I mean, that's not the focal point. The focal point is you want to get the best procedure.
Yeah.
And have the best results from that procedure. And just like you were saying, is when they go in, they say, well, what do you want? They're asking the patient what they're wanting.
And they'll give it to them, like, regardless of if it's...
Yeah, because all they care about is getting their money.
Yeah.
You want a facility that will, educate you on what can and cannot be done and what can be realistic with the cosmetic procedure.
Yeah.
And you're not getting that over there because they know, again, that you're not ever coming back. So they're going to tell you whatever you want to hear just to get your money, and that's it. And you have no recourse. And then a lot of times it ends up being even more expensive because you come back and then say that you have a complication, then you got to try to fix it and everything else. And it can end up costing a lot more money. And you're walking around with permanent, altered, just unusual looking cosmetic.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just looks odd.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I mean, and I mean, I tell people all the time, it's not all bad, but it's just, it's a gamble. I mean,
there's a lot more risk going.
There's a lot more risk.
A lot more risk going over there and doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Didn't you say that in your family you had a situation where?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, one of my I wasn't very close with her, but one of my, what would she have been? I guess aunts. Yeah, aunts. This was in the early to mid like 2000s. She went and got a tummy tuck in I forget what country, but internationally. It wasn't the easiest recovery, but she came back to the US and then went into basically full-blown organ failure and died from it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's because, and I mean, the doctors that did it were not in the same country. They were not they weren't there to know, like, no doctor that she was dealing with when she came back knew exactly what was done in that room.
And they probably didn't want to even deal with it. They probably didn't want to try to help her because, they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it was more difficult for her to try to get help.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And
just
obviously,
sad.
like not it, yeah, it is. I mean, not the exact same situation, but again, it just kind of points to
Yeah, that's horrible.
what can
That is
happen.
horrible. I know there was also a story, and I don't know how true it is, but there was a lady that went to South America and got lap band surgery and to lose weight. And when she got back, she felt fine and she was losing weight, but she was also having she
Issues.
started having like issues, and so she went to her family physician. They did blood work, and they were like, "Well, something's wrong with your kidneys. Something's not adding up here." And after doing more and more research, and I don't know what kind of tests they did, but come to find out, they harvested one of her kidneys. Wow. Yeah.
That is not where I was
Yeah.
well, that's not where I was expecting you to go with that story.
Yeah. Yeah. So supposedly organ organ harvesting, like on the black market, is like, I mean, that wouldn't happen with a hair transplant,
Probably not, but
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 still,
yeah.
it's just another horror story of what can happen,
Yeah.
if you go over to these countries like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
This
I,
has been super light and fun and
I don't know about fun. It's been we've been talking about horror stories and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, definitely. I mean, but it's true because it is a reality that happens to a lot of people, and
Yeah.
it's like it is a consideration that you need to keep in mind.
There's what they call the National Health Services, which is the national organization that kind of overlooks these cosmetic surgery procedures abroad. And there's an article stating that the emergency care is rising in all these cases because the number of patients with suffering serious complications during, for example, hair transplants, because it's such a, medical tourism is such a big deal now. But
Yeah.
again, they're having to get involved because some of the complications they're having after procedures, and some of the complications, for example, infections and near fatal outcomes. I mean, they have this listed: permanent nerve damage and chronic pain,
Mm-hmm.
and all the way up to 2 years after the procedure. Clinics are run by unqualified staff, and this is the other sentence that I read where taxi drivers are moonlighting as medical staff, where the medical staff comes in and marks the hairlines, and then they leave it up to taxi drivers to actually place the grafts. I mean, that's just insane. That's crazy.
It is crazy. And
All they
also,
gotta do is
yeah,
dress up and look the part,
it's true.
and then they're gonna leave that night and go drive their taxi.
It's true. It's true.
It's so crazy.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think one thing with the internet and social media, yes, I think it's easier than ever before to do a lot of research on things, but I think it's also easier than ever before for fake information to be out there, and
Right.
like paid reviews, paid experiences, like clinics. I've seen, there was one clinic, this was locally actually, where somebody somewhere in Atlanta was like, "Oh, there's this facility that opened up like within the last 7 months or something, and they already had like 200 reviews and a 5-star review on Yelp." And it was a hair transplant clinic of doctors, I think, who like were literally just contracted in from Turkey, to where like they showed like hundreds of reviews that were all positive, but then when you go to the website doesn't even work, and when you look up the company, I mean, the name, like the LLC only started 7 months ago or something. So it's like,
Wow.
what is this? What is this? What is this company, and where did those come from? And I think that is where, it's just, you gotta be careful in what you're looking up, and especially if you're going overseas, you don't know what you're getting.
So some of these influencers are not actually paying for the procedure. They're just
No,
they're
that's another thing, is I think, again, it's really easy to get kind of lured in by influencers and seeing the procedures they're having done. But a lot of times, then there have been a few influencers that I mean, I've even followed that have kind of gotten into hot water because people realized it's not the influencer that is deciding and doing their own research. Like, I want this procedure, so I'm gonna find the best clinic, find the most experienced people, pay out of my own pocket and get something done. A lot of times it's companies are approaching influencers or celebrities saying, we will, do you want to have this procedure done? We will pay you if
Yeah,
you
if
will
they see
market
that
it.
they have so many
Yes.
followers.
And so that is another where it's like,
And that's got to be what happened with that one that you showed me,
yes,
because
yes.
he went way in the detail, and
way
it
in
was
the
like,
detail. He's so
it
happy.
was, yeah, it was like overkill.
It's yes, and then you know, just seeing,
And his hairline looks so weird.
it is.
And
It's
everyone,
crazy.
I mean, not everyone, but the majority of people were like, bro, that's great. The hairline looks great. And I don't know, it just, his hairline looked weird. It was just straight across. There was no aging properties at all. It would be a hairline that he would have when he was 16.
Yeah, and I think also, like, another thing, especially, you know, certain people really want that straight across hairline.
Yeah, it looks like,
And that is so unnatural.
yeah, I
and
mean,
looks, yeah.
nothing, hair loss is not symmetrical. The human body is not symmetrical. I mean, some people have a bigger left foot than the right foot,
Yeah.
or whatever else. And to have a straight across, perfect
Yeah.
hairline just looks weird. You want to have areas of weakness and areas of strength.
Yeah.
So it looks like a natural looking hairline.
Yeah. And when they because when they were measuring it out, and, you know, I don't know if we can show the video or not, but when they were measuring out, it was literally, they were making perfect box lines. And it's almost like, well, I mean,
It's like robotic.
It's robotic, or if you want to make the joke like a younger person joke, it kind of looks like the perfect or fancy Squidward. Some people will know what I'm talking about. Where it's too, nothing on the human body is that perfectly angular, and it ends up looking unnatural, and it's only gonna get more unnatural as.
Yeah, so what happens is as we get older, the side temporal areas, they recede back. That's just part of an aging process. I mean, we get wrinkles, we get gray hair, and our side areas recede back. So if you have this straight across hairline that's low, and you're building it into the side temporal area, and you don't connect it into the higher recession, it's eventually not even going to connect anymore.
Yeah.
It just looks so weird.
And also, I mean, it's just when you have a low hairline, I don't think it's something that it's not something
from a side view. If
Yeah.
someone sees that gentleman that you showed me from a side view, it's going to look
really
like he has this long diving board looking thing.
Yeah.
It's going to look odd.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately. Well, and I mean, yeah, I think that's where social media and everything like that has also, I think, made people's expectations on what they can have done, but also what looks natural. Like, because I think a lot of our perceptions have kind of become warped over the years from seeing so many people have various procedures done. But going back to, you know, celebrities or influencers being paid by clinics to have procedures done, I think we tend to assume that if it's somebody well known with a lot of followers and they're getting something done, obviously what they're having done is by a reputable clinic. And I think it's just important to remember that is not at all the case. I mean, especially, like, you don't know these people, and if you know, a lot of them, like, okay, a company approaches you, says they'll pay you money to have something done.
Yeah, and you get it for free.
Sure, why not? Like, you know, it's just, I don't know. It just goes to show again, really, reality is very different than what is presented online.
Yeah. What we were talking about before is, you know, at HRS, I mean, we do tell you the good and the bad. I mean, we're very upfront, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that this is a perfect procedure for you and a good experience. And to do that, we have to tell you what we can and cannot do and what the limitations are. We're not going to tell you some far-fetched thing just so you get the procedure,
just so
because
you'll say yes.
Yeah, because, you know, a year from now, we know that
you're gonna come back because you know where we are.
Yeah, so
we don't want to. Yeah.
You know, our advice to you is, if you're thinking of getting a cosmetic procedure and that facility tells you everything that you want to hear, that's a huge red flag. That is a huge red flag, because there's limitations to everything that you do. And if that clinic basically does not share any kind of limitations or any drawbacks to what you're about to do, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, as a consultant, and I know you've been doing it a lot longer than I have, for myself, I mean, that's still probably one of my least favorite things. It's the hardest part, is telling people sometimes either straight up no, or like we or
Yeah, what they're wanting,
what they're wanting is
can't
it
do. You're
can't
not a
be
candidate.
done.
Yeah,
It
you're
can't
not
be
a
done.
candidate for that procedure
Um,
because you don't understand what we can and cannot do.
yeah, and I think because the biggest thing, and we tell people over and over again, the biggest limitation to transplants is that what we take back from here, the follicles we remove back here, don't regrow.
Yeah,
It's not,
doesn't.
they're not just reproducing. So you only have the hair that you have. We're just relocating it.
Yeah.
So, and I will never forget, there have been people that send in photos where they were, I mean, Norwood Sevens, or like literally bald. And they told me, well, Turkey told me that they're like, I'm actually already booked with Turkey. I just wanted a second opinion. Turkey, I was going to go to Turkey, and they told me I have a full head of hair. And it's just like that. You can say whatever you want, but that's not going to happen.
Right.
It's just not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's where, again, just, I would be hesitant of any facility that is quoting really, 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 once you get above 3,000 follicles, 3,000 grafts.
And 3,000 grafts, and
And that's not always realistic for people either.
3,000
Like,
grafts is really on a gentleman that has thick donor area and a big head. I mean, 3,000 grafts is really kind of the top tier.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, but especially if you hear like 5,000,
Oh yeah.
like,
It's
I would not, it's not advisable.
no,
No,
it's just
at
too
all,
much.
ever.
It's too much. I mean, you're going to end up with thin spots.
Spacey, as we've seen, can happen.
So moving forward with these podcasts, because again, this is something new to us. This is our second one. I feel like we ought to do a toast or something. I mean,
cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy.
But moving forward, if there's a certain topic that you would like for us to discuss, or say something in the comments about your personal experience, or or like the videos, like the podcast, just so we know that this is something that we should continue. And again, we're not professionals on doing this. We're just kind of trying this out and just talking about our own personal experience with insecurities and life itself. So, and moving forward, we're going to come up with different ideas, things to talk about. Topics. Yeah. So, and eventually we'll have guests coming in, and they'll give us just exploring new avenues of where we can go with this. So again, we appreciate you watching our podcast, and we look forward to seeing you on podcast number 3. Raw and Receding.